Hello, Maverick traders, and welcome out to your daily currency recap. This is Ankit here, and I'll be breaking down today's market price action and talk about the aftermath of that Trump announcement that we had about tariffs. So let's get into it. As always, we'll be taking a look at broader market analysis, take a look at what's happening with the news, take a look at what's moving and how the currency baskets are doing, and then take a look at some possible setups ahead. Let's get into it.
Disclaimer. This video was created for professional stock and option traders. Maverick Trading is a proprietary trading firm that employs professional traders around the world. Our traders trade firm capital and keep 70 to 80% of profits they generate. All trades and analysis in this video are for professional traders only. If you are interested in becoming a professional trader for Maverick, click the apply button in the video description. Let's break down what happened today.
So jumping into the market analysis, I would say that we have a bit of a polar opposite of, what happened during the day and then what happened after hours. So we'll talk about it. But again, we have this two-part day. Market was strong going into the close as we approached the tariff announcement. As we got more details on the tariff announcement, we had a big rollover in the markets. So we can take a look at the numbers today, but I think what we need to do is just kind of jump into the charts and kind of see, where we are. Things to note for today was, since we had a pretty good risk on day, we saw that kind of price action where, the dollar and the yen were weak. European currencies were strong. So we had a bit of a risk on day. Now we have a risk off day. So all these numbers are going to be reversed pretty quickly here. So let's just jump into the market outlook here and actually just jump into the live charts and see how things are moving. So here's the chart for S&P 500. And you can see that it looks polar opposite from how we kind of were closing. So this is actually the futures here. So this is the SPX. You can see this is how the market close. It looked like, we were just, rallying into the close and everything looked good. But now in the futures market, you can see we have a nasty candle to the downside. Now we are back at the support level where we bounced off of. And this is going to be turning in an important level to watch again, because, this is what we saw after hours in the U.S. session. We're going to have the Asian markets open up. We're going to have European markets open up. They all are going to, sort of prepare a response if there is, So based on the response, any retaliatory efforts, so I think that is going to cause more volatility. So that's what we got to watch out for. So I think the next two market opens are very important. Going into the market open in the U.S., I think that with the next 24 hours is going to be very crucial for these market opens and see how the markets react to it and how they digest that news. As you can see on a 15-minute chart, a lot of that sell-off that came, in as we got more details on the tariffs. So we are testing the support. That's really where we are. I need to get that confirmation of a break below to, confirm that we have a confirmed breakdown to the downside. So we, right now we just want to see how the market digested news. Now let's see how the bond yields did to it. You can see that the bond yields sort of fell on that news. They were doing okay before that, but they all fell on the news. Now let's take a look at how currencies did. So so we talk about correlation. We talk about risk on and risk off theme, and you can see that the yen is following that risk on and risk off theme very closely. So you can see that when the markets were strong, yen was weakening, and then here we are when market weakened. We see a strength in the yen. So it's just still acting as a nice safe haven currency. If you look at a bit of a longer term, you'll see that things are, not really moving in a strong trend, but intraday, it's really responding to the risk on versus risk off. So if this market sell-off intensify, I wouldn't be surprised that yen continues to strengthen. If the market calms down, then we probably see a fall of that. So, just realize that if you're trading the yen, you're kind of trading the broader markets. So it's important to maybe take a look at what the broader markets are doing. So make sure the correlation's there before you jump on. Now let's talk about dollar. Is dollar acting as a safe haven currency? The answer is no. So here's the part, the sort of a frustrating part for the dollar is that it's not really breaking out higher and it's not really breaking out lower. So if you look at shorter term today, and you see okay, the dollar did weak, so maybe I want to sell the dollar. Well, this is where you want to do a top-down analysis. to see, what kind of price action that overall, how strong the trend is. You can see that this is not trending whatsoever. So I don't expect any clarity for the dollar here. I think dollar is likely to go sideways. Now, Swiss franc is another currency that act as a safe haven, but you can see that it's not really acting as strong. It actually did fall in the news as well. But remember, as we go into the European Open, we'll probably see more activity in these European currencies. Now, looking at euro, you can see euro kind of fell on that. Early in the day, we had a massive sort of a rally in the euro. That was, again, based on some comments about, support likely to come along as, the tariffs get announced and just to support that economy. So, again, that was positive for the euro. You can see that it's falling here. Again, keep in mind where the euro is. You can see that euro is kind of going sideways here as well. But overall, you can see that euro has been in an uptrend. So if you look at a lot of daily charts, you'll notice that a lot of things are kind of stuck in these ranges. But as you go shorter term, you're getting, these swings. You're getting some wild swings down, wild swings up. Like, that's really where we are. Now, British pound, same thing. Overall, it remains in an uptrend. But, this thing has been sort of a lot of back and forth here as well. But overall, just keep in mind, this is still a strong trending currency, meaning that all those pullbacks are getting bought. That's a theme that we are seeing here. Now, let's talk about some of the growth currencies. So starting with the CAD, I'm surprised to see CAD actually strengthened. But remember, our job is to make sure that we are kind of looking at the price action, not as much our bias. We want to see how things move, maybe we see a follow through. Something to note that we have a bit of a stronger price action out of the CAD here. Again, on the daily chart, it looks interesting because they got a resistance level right here. If this breaks out that level, I think there could be another upside in the CAD. Now, what kind of follow through we get, I think it really depends if we could get that break. So I'll be watching this Canadian dollar very closely. Now we have the Australian dollar. Well, you can see that Australian dollar is prone to that risk on or risk off sentiment. So as the market took a big sharp turn, the Aussie down the most. When markets were rallying, the Aussie was rallying. So again, same thing as you're trading the yen, you're kind of trading the broader market sentiment. And same thing goes with the Kiwi here. As you can see that with the Kiwi, it actually is outperforming a little bit. So, a couple of key takeaways. I think the China tariffs were higher than expected. So that's why we got a bit of more severe price action out of the Australia here. So I think at this point, what looks interesting to me here, again, if this, if we see any sort of continuity of this price action, I think it's worth taking a look at Aussie Kiwi, see, what kind of price action we get there. This is the currency I've been watching. You can see that nice little bear rally right at the support here. If this break below this support area, I think we can easily see this down further. Now, that's all going to be depending on the relatives of the weakness and see what kind of weakness comes from, especially as we hear from the China's official and, we get that retaliatory efforts. Like, we will have to find out. But so far, I think this is the one to kind of note. So going back to what we are expecting as far as on the news front, you can see that most of the, most of the important stuff is already out of the way. Today, job support, the ADP number was better than expected. We had the Trump already out of the way. And then tomorrow we have the CPI numbers out of Switzerland, and we have services PMI and unemployment claims out of US. So the question is how important these events are, considering we have these macro movements taking place. So I think overall the broader market sentiment is going to prevail, but in the shorter term, I think we could see some especially if those numbers are going to be way above or below expectation. I think that's the only point those will be more effective. But I think right now it's better to kind of follow the broader market sentiment here. Look at with the risk on, risk off is and what currencies are outperforming versus underperforming. So let's just jump into our currency analysis and let's take a look at some possible setups one by one.
Do you want to be a professional trader? Maverick Currencies is the oldest US-based Forex and crypto prop trading company that will pay you for trading with our capital. Trade our capital and keep 70 to 80% of the profits. We are looking for traders just like you that are hardworking and motivated. Click the apply link on the top right of this video to see if you have what it takes. That link takes you to a 4-minute video that explains the trader position available, and you read a list of FAQs that answer pretty much all the basic questions you have at this point. After watching the video and reading the FAQs, if you're interested, fill out an application, then you'll watch the full-length recruiting video, and then schedule an interview with one of our traders. Are you our next trader?
So again, looking at the currency setups, again, like I said, I'm watching this break of this Aussie Kiwi here. I think it looks interesting as it gets towards this. The target will be about the 108. So again, decent risk to reward. The question is, the follow through. So that's the one we'll be taking a look at. Let's take a look at the yen currency pairs, and same thing. We're gonna take a look at things like Aussie yen. Same thing. Be a nice little break here. We are right at the support, you can see. So at this point, what we'll be looking for is sort of any sort of bounce or any sort of follow through that we get. Any energy that kind of going to build up here. Probably be a better opportunity here. So again, I think I'll have to wait and see what how the Japanese market open up, how the Chinese market open up, and then I think we'll have a better idea. So keep a close eye on these yen crosses. I think they all kind of look very similar to me. As you go through the list, they all are sort of falling here. So if the yen is going to be strengthening here, that's the one that we're going to be taking a look at. Now, dollar pairs, like I said, I'm seeing movements here. I just don't know if there's going to be good follow through. So I'm kind of staying clear from the dollar crosses here. Again, they're just not giving you that good range or good consistency. So things that we'll be taking a look at. If you're trying to gauge what the dollar is going to do, you can take a look at dollar yen. Take a look at dollar against Swiss franc, or take a look at dollar against all the major currencies. You can see right now, dollar is weakening, especially against the yen. You can see a pretty massive drop down here to 148.72. So again, going to the higher and longer term, we got a support right here. We haven't broken the support. That's the level. But again, right now, we are just, sitting at the lows of that move here. So look for some bounces to see if those bounces are failing. And I think that'll be a good little opportunity to jump into. So at this point, I won't jump on anything right now, but I want to see how the markets open up and kind of see what kind of follow through we get here. So really, that's where we are. I think you just have to figure out what those major currencies are going to do. The focus is going to be on the yen. Here's the yen sort of resistance level. We need to see a break above that to really get that, rally going. We got to take a look at, even the dollar is kind of being in this little range here, draw some lines and see which side does it break. And then we're going to have some retaliatory efforts from the Eurozone. We'll see how the European currencies react to it. But right now, I think that's really where we are. The theme is a risk-off sentiment. So again, just to summarize, we are expecting a lot of volatility in the next 24 hours. Again, I'm expecting and watching for those retaliatory tariffs and see, what kind of response we get, what kind of movements we get. Again, these are the times where sometimes it's not even a bad idea to just sit out, because unless you want to trade that volatility where things can jump up or fall really quickly, again, that's just what I expect here in these markets. So seems similar to what we saw early in the day today, where we got a really good risk on environment to a strong risk off environment. So depending on where the market goes, we are going to see that the follow through in some of those movements here. So this is again an important point to take a look at broader markets. Take a look at US 500 in your trading view, so you can see what the broader markets are doing. And if they go, if we see a further sell off, I think that will give us more confirmation on this risk off theme. If we start to see markets recover, then I think those are the moves likely to recover in the currencies as well. So again, very correlated moves that just look at broader markets, and that will guide you to your currency moves. So that's the plan for next 24 hours. Till then, take care. Happy trading.